Yeah, this is Sheila Truelove, and I have a video here that today is the 19th, January 19th, 2020, and this is a video of my son saying exactly how he feels about me, which I'm so happy to hear the truth, which is very hurting. He sits here and wants to accuse me of being a narcissist when in actuality, Jehovah and Jesus Christ know that's the last thing that Sheila Truelove is. A narcissist, for one, don't have empathy or compassion or mercy for anyone, which seems to be pretty much the direction my son is going in. You know, you don't have to be born a narcissist. You can turn into a narcissist because of things that happen to you in life. And I've noticed that the older my son and my daughter get, the more bitter they're becoming, the more narcissistic they are becoming. They have no empathy whatsoever. I don't take to heart too much of what my son says because, first of all, he has no children. Okay? So he doesn't have a clue, not a clue, of what it's like to be a single parent, let alone a parent, period. So without further ado, I will address his whatever comments as we go along. Here we go.
Which I kind of expected, but she's trying to punish people by distancing herself. Hey everybody, this is Louis. 2020.
Hold on.
And today I want to talk to you about parents and being raised by narcissistic parents. Currently, my mother and I are not speaking because she does not respect my boundaries. She constantly...
Okay, that's not the reason we're not speaking. And let me clear that up when it comes to boundaries. I really want to focus on this because this is what he's constantly saying. When you are dealing with a person who every single thing is a boundary, for all of the listeners, well, this is a private video I'm making, okay? But for my tubies, if I were to put this out there, you wouldn't get along with him because his boundary, his number one boundary is you're not allowed to have your own views. You're not allowed to have different ideas. You're not allowed to disagree with him. Because if you do, you know what he's going to tell you? You are nothing but argumentative because you have different views and different ideas. He's the type that he wants you to constantly blow smoke up his behind. He don't want to hear anything constructive. All he wants to hear is you're amazing, you're great, you're smart, you're funny, you're gorgeous, your height is great. I do nothing but compliment this man. At the same time, me being his mother, his parent, there are times when he do need some constructive advice. Now, I've learned, don't give advice unless you're asked. At the same time, when you see your child going through certain things, and he's like wondering why is it that he can't seem to connect with people, or he can't seem to find the right people for him, and why is it that everybody seems like they're no good and everybody seems like they're wrong. When I bring some things to his attention, I'm offending him. You're assaulting me. Why are you assaulting me? What? I don't, baby. Like I said, I'm just like, I don't. Oh, really. I don't get. I'm sorry. I don't. I just had to answer that. He sent me a text talking about, like I told you, until you go into treatment, for a month. I told you, look, like I told you, you don't tell me anything. I'm your mother. You don't tell me anything. I told you I'm not doing no counseling because counseling without support, it doesn't work. I have done this counseling thing numerous times. That don't work for me. Certain things don't work for everybody. You sit there and talk to a bunch of people who have more problems and issues than you do. So no, that doesn't work. What works for me is sit down with me with your Bible in your hand and let's have a nice Bible study. And let's share the Proverbs of the day. Why don't we just do that? That's something that's easy. A chapter in Proverbs is very short. It's not that long. And it's easy. He's not interested in that. He don't want to do anything that that will really help to remedy our situation. Because he's so busy out there living a double life, that's why he doesn't really want to do things or let Jesus Christ step in. Let Jesus Christ be our counselor. Okay? Why don't you do that? Anyway, let's listen on.
Violates my boundaries. It's been close to a month where we haven't spoken to one another. I reached out to her against my better judgment on her birthday in January. She didn't reply back, which I kind of expected. But she's trying to punish people by distancing herself.
See how he always misinterprets everything? Always. I'm trying to punish somebody? No, I'm not. Yeah, I had just got another video, another text from this character. But anyway, like I said, everything in his life is a boundary. You see how he just misinterpreted my feel, everything about the way I say things. You're trying to hurt me. No, nobody's trying to hurt you. I don't have anything to say to him, because when I kept telling him that I was not drinking on the days that he accused me, and Jehovah Jesus is my witness, I was not drinking. He kept accusing me constantly. So I ended up using profanity and just hanging up the phone, because I told a lie to him one time, and I told him I would never do that again going forward. And for him to constantly accuse me and use this as an excuse instead of manning up and saying, Mom, look, you're not a man. You don't have anything that I need or anything that I want. And just fess up and be a man about it. Don't sit up here and try to hide behind drinking. That's the only ammunition they have, him and his sister. That's all they can use. That's it. On this boundaries things. Honey, I got a list of the boundaries that they don't respect of mine. Let me let you hear them, since we're on the subject of boundaries. Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I was just listening to some more of his rantings and ravings, whatever. And then, me saying it like that, he'll say, oh, that's because you don't respect me. It has nothing to do with not respecting you. It has to do with, I'm sick and tired of the overly sensitivity of him and his sister. And the reason why I say people need to read, please read Moon in Cancer. Now, it's not about following no horoscopes, because I'm using this as psychology rather than astrology or zodiac. No. And the reason why I say Moon in Cancer, read it, because it explains and expresses exactly what these kids put me through. It expresses it, and it clarifies. It shows people how overly sensitive these people are. You have to walk on eggshells. It's like you are walking on a landmine. Everything you say, you don't know what it's going to make them blow up. They're going to blow up. Who wants to live like that? I know I don't.
Me and my sister.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm just focused on me right now, because my mother and I had a very, very close relationship. But my mother struggles with alcohol. And so whenever she drinks, she becomes unbearable. She becomes rude, critical, angry, hostile. So I told her, I said, Mom,
please listen to me. Even when I'm not drinking, he says that I'm rude, I'm hostile, because anytime you tell him the truth, you're being rude, you're being hostile, you're offending me. Why are you attacking me? And now keep in mind, this is without alcohol involved at all. No alcohol at all. Okay?
Whenever you drink, do not call me. Because whenever she drinks, it triggers bad memories for me, as I've been going through this since I was 8 years old. So she agreed to do that, but found creative ways to violate my boundaries, namely by sending texts, numerous texts, that are hostile, that are angry, that are critical, and it was offensive to me. So I let her know this. On December 19th.
Now, I agree with him when him and his sister said that they don't like me drinking. So you know what I did, Tubies? Even though I'm a grown woman, I respect their boundaries, and I don't drink around them. They said, Mom, when you're drinking, don't call us, don't text, don't call us. And you know what? I slipped up a couple of times. And the reason I slipped up like that is because normally if I'm drinking, I feel social, somewhat social, or I feel that I want to talk to a friend. I feel like I want to talk to, people I trust. And I thought that my son and my daughter were my friends. And I understand, yes, I admit it. There's times when I I come off harshly when I'm drinking. I need to have a filter. And I admit that. That's why I respect their boundaries. And when they say don't call, I stopped doing that. I stopped doing it. I stopped. My daughter could tell you she hasn't heard from me in almost, 3 years? It's almost going to be, 2.5 years? I don't bother the girl. I don't call her. I don't text her. I don't do nothing. That's right. Because instead of trying to work with someone, now you have to keep in mind also, I would have gotten help for my situation and my alcohol problem drinking, a problem drinker, if I wasn't raised in a cult. This Jehovah's Witness thing, you were not allowed to get any help. You weren't allowed to go to AA or NA or Al-Anon or any fellowship meetings because they associated that with Babylon the Great, the empire of false religion. See, these are the things he's not going to tell you. He's not going to tell you that. So I was out there battling by myself, working with this. And like I told him, if you really wanted to help me, sit down and study the Bible with me. Okay? Now, he sends me a text. When I sent him that text, let me tell you what he sent me. Because I told him, sit down and have a Bible study with me. He says, you said studying with you, but you are not on God's team now. Yeah, I am on God and Jesus Christ's team. Speak for yourself. You slander people. No, I don't slander. I tell the truth, and that's what he don't want to hear. Being a part of this Jehovah's Witness organization, that's the way they have you. These people don't want the truth. They don't. The Bible tells us to do our research, to look into things. This organization tells you not to. They say, forget about 1 John, forget about 1 Thessalonians, forget about what the Bible tells you to do. They tell you to just trust everything that they say, which is lies. And talk about misinterpreting the Bible. This is what he has to say. Like Jehovah's Witnesses, Proverbs chapter 4, the new light. Is that what he's saying? No, I don't misinterpret the Bible. I interpret it the way it's meant to be, to what it's meant to say. He says, you slander people. Okay, no, I don't. I tell you the truth, and facts are the facts. I don't want to study with you, here he goes, because you twist scriptures. No, I don't. I tell the truth with the scriptures. He says, and you use them as ammunition. No, I don't. And to try to show him that I'm not twisting the scripture, let's sit down and let's do the research online. Let's do our own research. See, he believes the interpretation of what the Watchtower, the Russellites, what they teach, the way they say it's interpreted, that's what it is. No, because they have done nothing but false prophecies, one false prophecy after another. They constantly keep changing their teaching because they twist the scriptures. Finally, I have a Bible study group that do not twist the scriptures, and they encourage you to read the whole chapter. See, he don't want to do that, especially the book of Proverbs, because it's going to show him the areas that he needs to work on. That's why I read Proverbs, because I want to know what I have to work on. I'm humble enough to humble myself to say, you know what? This is making a good point here. He don't want to go near the book of Proverbs or the Bible or the Kingdom Hall. He don't go to no Kingdom Hall. He sits up here and talk about he identifies with Jehovah's Witnesses. He don't want to have nothing to do with those people. Do you hear me? Is he out in the ministry knocking at doors? Nope. Does he attend the meetings regularly on Sunday and Tuesday? Nope. Does he associate with these people, hang out with them, go on, nope. He goes on vacation at least once or twice a year. Does he go out with them? Nope. He says you don't accept truth. No, sweetheart, it's the other way around. It's because I accept the truth that we are starting not to get along. You just want to argue. See what I told you? Didn't I just say that previously?
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Anytime you disagree with what he has to say, you are trying to argue. It's annoying, he says. It's annoying when you don't just swallow what he has to say. You see, he is looking for someone who is brain dead. And I'm not her. I'm not her. Now, when it came to the drinking, I recognized that's a problem. I got myself into a nice support group. He referred me to it, actually, and I go. I even got a job there where I work there as a volunteer every other Friday and every other Saturday. You see, but he doesn't know this. No, I'm not going to no counselor and where I have to sign a paper to release. Why would I do something that don't work? That don't work for me. Why is he's a social worker? Why don't he have a counselor? How come every social worker needs a counselor or a therapist to talk to? Why don't he practice what he preach? He needs somebody to talk to, especially as he's getting older. Do you think he'll listen to that advice? No, he won't, because he's too haughty and he's too arrogant.
2019 at 10:30 a.m., she decides to call me at 10:30 in the morning.
That's a lie.
At my job. Ranting and raving and yelling and screaming, and you could just tell she was in...
No, I was not drinking. This is why I'm not speaking with him right now. And I did call him, but there was so much static on the phone. So I had to raise my voice. I was saying, Lewis, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hardly hear you. He automatically just said, oh, you was drinking. He just hung up. No, there was so much static on that phone that Monday. And another thing, if anyone knows me, my MO is not no 10:30 in the morning drinking no goddamn liquor or alcohol. No, that's not my thing. So again, he lied on me. He lied.
Yet another drunken student.
See? He lied.
So I hang up the phone on her. I don't even engage her. I wrote her a letter detailing how...
He didn't engage me because there was so much static on the phone. He couldn't talk to me because he couldn't hardly hear me. All he could hear was me maybe saying, I can't hardly hear you. Can you move, to another, whatever, I can't hear you. He automatically just summed it up. Oh, you was drinking. So he lied. And I felt that if you want to, depart from me, at least be a man about it. Be courageous about it. Don't sit up here and tell lies on me and use this so you can make your departure. Don't be a coward. I didn't think that I raised a coward.
I felt, and she didn't respond to that.
Why should I?
She just went ghost, pulling a disappearing act. Maybe in her mind she feels that if she distances herself, then tries to come back, everything will be as it was. But I told her that until she agrees to go into counseling, signs up for sessions, signs a release, and have me talk with the counselor, I don't want to be bothered anymore.
Now ask him, did we do that already? I went into counseling. He even met me there. I sat there, I talked to this woman. I did 2 of those sessions. Then I went to another one on my own. It was with the EAP. I went to 2 of those on my own. What does that do? That doesn't do a god-dogged thing. Nothing. He sat there and listened to what this woman was saying. That don't work with nobody. What am I going to this counselor to talk about? To say what? Oh, this because of that. No, they can't identify with me. They didn't just come out of a cult. They didn't have their family totally destroyed. They can't do nothing to help me. Now, I told him the best counselor for you and me both is Jesus Christ. That's the counselor that we need to sit down with. If you are going to try to correct me, you make sure you have a Bible in your hand. Of course, he won't do that because he's living a double life.
She hasn't since contacted me, and this is hurtful. This is hurtful because me and my mother were like this. We were thick as thieves.
And so I thought, but when I looked at the 2 videos, and now this is a 3rd one that he made about me, it showed me that when I thought that we were tight, it was a lie. It was all a lie. Because when he sat there and called me an alcoholic and tried to make it seem like that was all I was about, he said 2 halfway decent things about me, and he said it briefly. He didn't go into detail when it came to saying anything positive about me. When it came to saying anything negative and bad things about me, look, he got a whole video. He got all that to talk about. He could go into full detail when it comes to negativity. What about the good things that I've done? The thousands of good things I've done. You want to talk about 3 things that I was not perfect on. What about the things that I was good at? Why can't you elaborate on that? And if you were to listen to the video where he sat up there and made all the allowances in the world for a deadbeat sperm donor, a dude who didn't care whether he was dead, alive, is he eating, is he clothed, is he sick, is he in the hospital, is he okay, is he getting the proper help that he may need at his time of need. This dude didn't care nothing about these kids. And yet they'll sit here and they will make all type of allowances for him. My daughter went so far as to try to get him to live with her so she could take good care of him and his drug habit. That's what she wanted to do for him. But when it comes to me, her mom, she'll take me and throw me so far under the bus until there is no sight of me. Now you tell me what's hurtful. And what really hurts me more than anything, really, is their dad, their sperm donor. He told me when he left, he said, you know what? I'm not giving up my life for these kids because they're not going to give up their life for you. And he was so right as he turned around and left. I didn't bother looking back, okay? We had to go down to the Bronx one day and beg him really to come up here just to spend some time. Meanwhile, I'm the one who stayed on the job. Now, you know what he'll say because I'm bringing this up? He'll say you're trying to use guilt. No, I'm not. I'm telling you how I feel. That's what I'm telling you. It's called communication. Without communication, there is no relationship. Why is it that it's okay for him to say how he feel and I don't say you're trying to make me feel guilty? While he's saying all of these things about me, oh, you're just trying to make me feel guilty. I don't see it that way. I see it as he's expressing how he feels. Even though he misconstrued my feelings about things. Oh, she feels that she's trying to punish me. No, that's not it. I'm staying away because you hurt me. And I'm trying to heal.
Despite her issues with my sister, I still try to stick by my mother. But when she's calling me all types of names and disrespecting me and using profanity at me, that's when I have to draw the line.
But you see, he's not going to go into detail. Why did she do that? For everything that a person does, there's a reason. I used profanity at him because I was so sick and tired of him constantly accusing me of drinking, and when I'm not. And I kept telling him, I wish you would have heard me on the phone. No, Louis, I have not been drinking. No. And he just wouldn't let up because he is using that as a cop-out. That's what I think. I think the more he listens to his sister and spend time with his sister, every time he's done talking to her, him and I, we grow more distant and distant and distant. That's what she wants. Okay? And he, like I said, both of their moon is in Cancer. Please just look up moon in Cancer. Don't look at it from astrology. Just look at moon in Cancer. And then you'll definitely understand what I'm saying. When it comes to these people, they are just overly sensitive. You can't say anything. You're breaking their boundaries. You are disrespecting them. Why are you attacking me? Oh, I was like, I can't. It's too much. It's too much.
I realized that I've tolerated so much BS in my relationships because I never learned how to respect my boundaries. Why? Because my boundaries were always violated growing up. Always violated.
Here we go with the victim, the blame game. But like Charles Stanley said, you can't blame your parents for that. Your boundaries was violated and you went wayward and he suffered the things that he suffered because he took that Bible and he closed it and he didn't want to hear nothing that Bible had to say. He was raised. When I pushed him out of my vaginal walls, he was pushed right into the hands of God and Jesus Christ, him and his sister. Okay? Now, I may have made some mistakes along the way being a single parent. It's hard. It's a hard job. And it's extra hard when you have people that don't appreciate it. And they are willing to just take you and throw you away, you know, the moment a crisis hit. He made bad decisions because he closed that Bible. He gave Jesus and Jehovah God his middle finger and told them to rotate on it. That's why. So don't sit here and try to blame me for the bad choices and the wrong decisions that you made. You knew the truth and you're not retarded. No offense to anyone out there who is, you know, mentally challenged. No. Their favorite words, let me tell you their favorite 3 words. Responsibility, accountability, boundaries. That's their favorite 3 words, and they don't respect none of it. Do you hear me? None of it. because I have boundaries that they don't respect. They don't respect hardly any of my boundaries. Let me read my boundaries off and let you see how these kids don't give a damn when it comes to other people's boundaries. First, let's understand what the meaning of boundaries, what it means. Boundaries are the guidelines that let other people know how to treat you and how you will respond if someone pushes those limits, okay? I hope we got that clear. It tells people what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with. When you feel that you're not being treated right, or if someone is stepping all over you, if that's the way they're making you feel, that's boundaries. Now, when you're telling someone no, or you say, no, I'm not able to do that, or no, I'm not comfortable with that, that's a boundary. I understand that. Okay? Now, my boundaries that I keep asking these kids, stop doing this, especially he's supposed to be a social worker and a counselor, so he should know the difference between an alcoholic, a problem drinker, someone who abuses alcohol, and a binge drinker. And he should know about MM. That's called moderation management. That's the new AA group that they're forming these days, because everyone who drinks is not an alcoholic, or any time people overdo it from time to time, that don't mean you're an alcoholic. And that's why they came up with this thing called moderation management. They have groups forming all over the world with that now. You could go to the groups now online. Okay, so my boundary, and I keep telling them, stop constantly reducing me to nothing but an alcoholic. Stop doing that. Just like they don't like me to call Jehovah's Witness a cult, I'm not going to stop saying they're a cult, because it's the truth. And that's what God wants us to speak, the truth. It's a cult that's destroying families and destroying people's lives. It's to the point where it's even killing people and hiding pedophiles. They are protecting pedophiles and hurting the victims, punishing the victims. So yeah, it is a cult. Again, I ask them, do your research. Jehovah told you to do your research. Jesus told you to do your research. You think they'll listen? No, they won't. But back to the boundaries that they don't respect. Stop treating me like I'm worthless. They treat me like I have no value. And I quote my daughter, "You don't have anything anybody want. You don't have anything anybody need. If you weren't my mother, I wouldn't have anything to do with you." Now, do you think that that's respecting me? Is that not crossing boundaries when it comes to disrespect? When it comes to my son, he's constantly siding with her. Anything she says, she's the big head honcho. She's the head honcho when it comes to him. But she ain't running a goddamn thing over here. Next boundary. All I want is what Jehovah and Jesus Christ said I'm entitled to. And that's called respect, honor. Now, when you translate that word honor from Hebrew, or better yet, it's Greek. It's a Greek word. And you translate it from Greek to English, it means to value. You're supposed to treat your parents with value. Honor me. Jehovah said I'm entitled to that. Don't worry about what I'm doing wrong. Jehovah will handle me. Jesus Christ will handle me. That's not for you to do. Second one, if you can't be happy for my happiness, I don't need you around me. Because people like that, they're unhappy with themselves. This one is directed at my daughter. She couldn't be happy for me when I became a published author, when I got my first book out. The girl said, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. The moment she saw that, I got my book on Amazon. This is a dream that I set. When it comes to my YouTube channel, I have 2 YouTube channels. I used to have 3. I have my ministry channel, which is True Love Ministries. You think my son ever went over there and looked at that channel? I bet you haven't. I'm almost ready to put my life on it. I bet you he haven't. Okay? He wants to talk about how I'm not a Christian, how I'm doing this wrong. I'm not perfect. I never professed to be. But I bet you one thing, I haven't given up trying. Now, learn to listen to your parents. And let me tell you when I say this is my boundary. This is what Jehovah said I'm entitled to too. To listen means to act on what I say. Take some of the things that I say to you and act on it. Because you see, I'm not this dummy that they think I am. When they don't listen to me, it makes me feel very disrespected. It really does. Stop trying to control me by telling me how, this is a big one, this is huge, telling me how to talk. Don't sit up here and tell me what I can say, what I can't say, how to talk, how to walk, how to sit, how to eat. Who the hell do you think you are? You're not going to tell me, look, as long as I'm not using profanity at you, like I came at him this time using profanity. Was I wrong? I was very wrong. I apologize. I really do. But with these kids, you could apologize and really feel bad about what you've done. They will never extend mercy in your behalf. They won't. So you can forget that, because they're above it all. They're better than everybody, according to them. I have another, this is not the full list, because I have it on this tablet that I know another boundary. I asked him, look, I am a lady, Lewis. When I get in the car, I'm your mother. We had this discussion in the supermarket, and there was these people in the supermarket who agreed with me 100%, especially considering I'm his mother. I said, it would be really nice if when I come to the car, you would open the door for me. And when we get to our destination, you could come around like a gentleman and open the door for me. That would be so nice. I would love that. You think he would respect my boundaries to treat me like a lady? And I'm your mother. Do you think he respects that? No, he don't. You know what he said? Oh, you women always want to be trying to treat like you special. Oh, you women. Issues with women. Another thing with him. Whatever. He says I have issues with men. No, I don't have issues with men. I have issues with dudes who's supposed to be taking the lead because they're in charge of leading women and children. And when I see how these characters are behaving, that's where my issue stems from. Do you think he would understand that? Of course not. Anyway, I have other boundaries that are listed. I have 12 boundaries, 12, that they do not respect. And I have a line that I've drawn. They cross it every single time.
And it's like my mother is a narcissist. My needs were always put to the back burner. My feelings were always...
No, his needs to know he's the narc. He's grown into one. He was never a narcissist. He's grown into it because he has let all of these past relationships that have hurt him turn him into a narc. He has no empathy anymore, no mercy, even with his clients. His clients, man, he's kind of cold. You're supposed to be on call. When people calling you up, the way he has this lackadaisical attitude where he don't even care. He's way too laid back. He don't really particularly care. Not really. When it comes to his needs, I think every child needs love. He got that. When it comes to his needs, I think every child needs a roof over their head. If you was to meet him, he has never been homeless. They need clothes. I took care of that. They need food. I took care of that. The most important thing that children need is a good relationship with their Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. I made sure I took care of that. When he was hurting, after getting hurt in situations that he had no business being in, I was there for this kid. I took care of that. I put him before my own husband. Okay? I made sure that I would get rid of my husband, to hell with him, because I want my son to be able to feel like he could always come home. So if it meant throwing out, do it out the house, I would do that. Yes, I took care of his needs, but he doesn't see any of that. I took care of both my kids' needs. There was a time I would never turn my phone off or put my phone on vibrate because I have a son and daughter out there. I never know when they're going to need me. And when they need me, I want to be available. Okay? You think they recognize that? No. You know what? Recently, I started putting my phone on silent, turning it off, all the above. Why? Because I'm not going to keep caring about somebody who don't care about me. They just turn their phones off, talk about text me, I'll get that quicker. They put it on vibrate, all of this, whatever. How are you going to do stuff like that when you have family out there? You don't know what they could be happening to them out there, but you have your phone turned off. I would never do that. So don't tell me that I didn't care about you. I don't take care of your needs. I did nothing but take care of their needs. When their sperm donor daddy walked off, who was right there taking care of those kids' needs, putting them first? There was times when I wanted to spend money on myself, things that I wanted to be selfish about, but I didn't. Okay? You think they recognize all that? Of course not.
Undermined. I was made to feel like I was wrong and that I was crazy, a la gaslighting. You know, the emotional blackmail, the over emotionality, constantly using crocodile tears, crying these fake tears. Just
Do you see how cold he is? How narcissistic he is? Someone is crying, and I don't sit up there and use crocodile tears, and I'm not the emotional type. You see, him and his sister are very emotional. If I do break down and cry, which I have on maybe 2 or 3 of my videos because it was just overwhelming for me, he'll sit there and say your feelings are crocodile, or you're trying to manipulate, because that's what your feelings. You're not allowed to have feelings with this character. Now you tell me who's the narcissist. Or you're telling people to blackmail? Why would I have to blackmail my children? I don't what? You see, the things that these people be thinking about, my mind don't even conceive. I don't even think about stuff the way they do. I don't see it the way they do.
to elicit sympathy so that...
Oh, wait a minute. And when he says constantly being told that I'm wrong, there are times when he was mistaken on several things. He's young. He's still learning. But he feels he knows it all now. He's never wrong. You're not supposed to tell him that he's maybe needs to readjust his thinking, or maybe you can look at it from another angle. Have you considered this, or have you considered that? No. Why are you abusing me? Why are you attacking me? Because I'm asking you to maybe look at it from another angle. You see? But to him, that's attacking. I can't be so bothered. Child, please.
Once again, our feelings have to be put on the shelf.
Look at this.
Because our mother, or my mother, has to basically take center stage. Growing up, it was always about her taking center stage. My feelings were placed on the back burner, and I just felt like I was a narcissistic supply source.
He was no narcissistic supply source. He was not put on the back burner. He's the type who was uncomfortable with himself, okay? Very uncomfortable with himself. I needed to have some more men around. I tried to find some healthy, good men to put around him because he had, feminine movements. He had like these feminine movements, and I wanted some man around him that was more rugged. So I offered to sign him up for the Big Brother program. He didn't want that. Okay, his feelings was not put on the back burner. Me and his sister, we sat down. Okay, Lewis, listen to us. Okay, we're going to sit here and listen to you. We're going to listen. You are saying that you're going through some issues. So explain to me, because he keeps saying that we don't understand.
Here's the definition of bliss.
He is constantly saying how we don't understand. So me and his sister were sitting down here for real, giving it our all. I'm sitting here because we used to having family meetings. Break it down for me, please. He makes it so that he doesn't explain things clearly. He's all over the place, He doesn't, because he doesn't even, you know what it is? He doesn't have it figured out himself. And he's still, even at the age that he is now, he's very uncomfortable with himself. That is not my fault, because I do everything to try to make him feel comfortable, because I could see the uncomfortableness he still has in him. He hasn't outgrown that fully. He hasn't. And maybe, just maybe, it's because he's too much on his high horse and refuse to open up that Bible and listen to what Jehovah's telling you to do and how you're supposed to live. He don't want to hear that either. So I'm not going to be too hurt. You don't want to hear what God and Christ have to say. So I know you don't give a damn about what I have to say.
And fast forward to today, I don't understand. I don't understand how someone could claim to love you and then just distance themselves, or don't even want to do what it takes to rectify the situation. But
This is comical. This is totally comical. He's the one who distanced himself from me, okay? Don't want to do what it takes. How many of these counseling sessions did I go to? Because he asked me to. Because had it been for me, I would have never spent my money on that. First of all, I don't have extra money like that to keep blowing and take it to somebody that's not helping me. I can help them more than they can help me. I'm doing everything to rectify the situation. And the best way to rectify anything when you are having problems in your family, your marriage, friendships, is to let Jesus Christ sit here and help us work through this. Now, let's sit down and have a Bible study. He's going to say, oh, no, you're going to twist the scriptures. No, honey, I'm no longer a JW. Okay, so I don't twist scriptures. I believe in reading the whole chapter, unlike them.
claim to love you. They claim to care about you. I don't believe in my mother's love anymore. And that's sad. My father, I know that he didn't love me. I know he didn't love me. And my mother, I never would have guessed that she didn't care about me, and she doesn't.
That is
She
such.
doesn't. She
That
cares
is.
about
Oh my
herself,
God. That is such. Jehovah's my witness, Jesus. That almost makes me cry. See, and I'm not the emotional type. I love my son more than I even love myself. I love this boy with everything. I push everything and everybody to the side when it came to him. His sister even used to say, Mom, you pamper him too much. You do this too much with him. You do that with him. I'm very protective of him. And for him to say something like that, that's no appreciation. That's what I'm talking about. No appreciation at all. None. And you want to say that I'm the narcissist? Is that right?
Her roommate, so she's getting a steady flow of income, so she don't need the kids anymore.
What?
Whatever.
Now I went from crying. Now you're going to think I'm bipolar because that's too funny for me. Because I have a roommate and I'm getting money. I don't need my kids. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I asked this kid to come back home because I kept saying in my head, the Bible says the reason a man will leave home is so he will leave his mother and his father to stick to his wife. He didn't have no wife to leave home and stick whatever. He kept saying, oh, because of the drinking. Well, honey, let me tell you, I had stopped drinking for 7.5 years. If I did it then, I could do it again. No problem. Really. That's how much confidence I have in Jehovah Jesus and myself. If that was like a huge issue. That's not, no. So he can't say that. Now, he has a student loan that I promised to help him pay. Now, I don't have extra money like that. I just don't. So I found a solution. He could have come home and stayed home at a fraction of the cost. And the extra money that he's saving, not having to pay all of these bills, the bills that he has right now, he could have saved so much money, and the money he saved, it'll go towards paying that student loan. That's me living up to my word. That I said I would help you with this student loan. You have so many parents who once their kids hit 18, they gotta go. My son left home at 33 years old. Now, I couldn't have been such a horrible parent like he's painting me to be anytime you stayed home until you was 33. 33? Okay? Isn't that the age Jesus died? Yeah. My brother, he didn't want to leave my home. If I was such a narcissist and such a horrible monster like they's trying to paint me out to be, my brother had to leave. He was forced out. All of my exes want to come back to me. But I thought I was this narcissistic monster. No. I think my son needs to take a mirror and put it up and take a look in the mirror. And he needs to definitely make some adjustments. He's constantly now playing a victim. Woe is me. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. I can't find no friends. Nobody's right. Because he's looking for perfection. That's why. He wants people to be perfect. He knows you could get 80% out of a person. 20% people are going to mess up. He doesn't want that. You can't mess up. Especially if you're my mother.
But anyway, she feels as though she has to walk on eggshells around me because I am too sensitive. Too sensitive. Because you demand respect. Because you ask for respect. You're considered too sensitive. Because you won't let people curse at you and criticize you and demean you. And of course, she thinks that this is constructive criticism.
This is so lies. That's such lies. Demean you. Cursing, I use profanity. I don't curse at my children. That's why he could get so crazy with this, because I don't do that. I don't use profanity when it comes to my children. I don't permit that. I slipped up, okay? Because like I said, I don't want to even go into why. Forget it. You know, no. But to sit up there and say because you want to demean me, you want to, no, that's so, I gotta laugh. The kid, and he is funny, by the way, and I always said he should do stand-up. And I'm not trying to, as he would say, negate his feelings. I'm not. But he's seeing things when it comes to me wrong. He's seeing it wrong. I'm sorry, I don't like to use the word wrong, or he's mistaken. I'm going to try to dress this up with some kind words. That's kind of rough for me. I'm going to try to dress it up with some, he's mistaken, or it's a discrepancy that he's having here. I'm trying to find softer words. I really am.
Kind to us and trying to, quote, protect us, but you don't protect somebody by trying to break their spirit.
What?
You don't do that. And I'm tired of it. I am tired of it, but it's a shame. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame because the time that could be spent building our relationship, the time that we're wasting, angry at each other, fighting, bickering back and forth, is the time we could be spending relating. My mother's getting up there in years. She's getting up there. You know, she's going to need quality care. We should be using this time to build memories with one another. But once again, we're out here squabbling and bickering over stupid nonsense.
And who's causing that? I never said, oh, don't call me again whenever. I never sit up here and say, you know what, until you stop with this issue. He knows the issue I'm talking about. Don't call me ever again, like his sister. I mean, this girl has actually thrown him out of her house, was ready to throw him out. But she could sit there, he could sit here and side with her all the time. She wasn't being understanding. She didn't understand his plight. She didn't understand fully what he's battling. I didn't sit up there and say, you know what, don't ever talk to me again until you get back, since you believe in that Kingdom Hall stuff. When you get back in the Kingdom Hall and you are giving talks and you are out in the ministry, then you can call me. You know, it's called ultimatums, I think. Yeah. I never turn my back on my children when they do things that I don't agree with. I don't say, no, you can't come back to me. I don't care. You can say how you feel, and you never have to worry about me throwing you away, because you are entitled to your feelings. Feelings, however, are not facts. Him and his sister believe feelings are facts. That's another issue. The hell with logic. No, it's all about feelings. And yeah, that's another thing that upsets me. I'm getting up there in age, and this is when you decide to turn your back on me, you and your sister. Right at a point when I need you the most, that's when you decide that you want to turn around and walk away. Of course, because I'm not a man. Because both of them, they are so desperate for male attention. Everything is about male attention, male attention, male attention. I'm not that. I'm not rich. I don't have material things and money. So they find it easy to just discard me. But I bet you, if I was to play lotto, if I was to hit, because I do play lotto, and I play lottery too. Yeah, I do. And if I was to hit, honey, I would have to hire or take out a restraining order to keep these kids away from me. Anyway, we're going to do a part 2 because this is running kind of long. But I hope you see where I'm going with this, and I'm glad that I could make these rebuttals because he's not being honest. And you know, I got to make this clear also when it comes to my son and my daughter. They don't understand that exaggeration, that's a form of lying. It's lying. I'll see you on the other side.